everybody, it's Jenny, and today I'm here with my challenge for day one of BookTube-A-Thon and my wrap-up of day one of BookTube-A-Thon. Now, it is still 4 o'clock in the afternoon here on day one, so I will probably read a little bit more, and I'll talk to you about that when I get there, but I kind of just wanted to take a break while I have some daylight and things like that to kind of do a wrap-up of how everything's going. Okay, so if you've watched my BookTube-A-Thon TBR video that I put up last week, just forget everything you've heard. My TBR has completely changed. I don't think I'll be reading even one book that was in it. I think I said I was going to read the entire Twilight series, and I still will, just not for BookTube-A-Thon. I'm a member of NetGalley, and if you don't know what that is, I'll leave a description of it down below. But it's kind of a place for people who are reviewers of books to go and request books from publishers and get approved for books to read. And I was approved by about 4 books from Scholastic to read, and I really need to get them to get the reviews done, but I also really want to get them. I got approved for The Iron Trial by Cassandra Clare and Holly Black. I got approved for Sinner by Maggie Stiefvater, and 2 other ones that I'm really excited about getting. So I will kind of tell you which books I'm reading as we go along, because right now I kind of just know what I'm reading right now. But I am going to still try to fit them into the challenges so that I can still do that. So let's just get started. The first challenge that I have already completed, I'm quite proud of this, is last night when it turned midnight, I went ahead and read Tales of Beetle the Bard by not by Harry Potter, it's a Harry Potter book by J.K. Rowling. Now this one, I kind of flexed the rules a little bit. I did read I used this for the book to movie adaptation challenge. I did read this complete book, and me and my children read watched Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2. But in Part 1, they actually, animated a scene from the Tale of the Three Brothers in this book. So I did watch it and I did read it. So there's one challenge completed. The next challenge that I'm doing is to read a complete series in this week. And since I got Sinner from Maggie Stiefvater as one of my review books, I guess when I applied to get it, I thought it was part of another series that I'd read. And then when I realized what it was, I realized I hadn't read the Shiver trilogy at all. So I'm actually going to read the Shiver trilogy, all 4 books, Shiver, Linger, Forever, and then Sinner, during this week. And so for that challenge, I started with Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater, and I'm actually about 150 pages through. I don't know if you can see my bookmark there. About 150 pages through already. I'm hoping to finish this by tonight, early tomorrow morning, and start right on Linger. I did 3, I believe, Twitter sprints with Ariel today, and I got through a whole lot of this book. I normally don't even read this much in a day, so I'm quite proud of it. So yeah, so far, like I said, I've read Tales of Beetle the Bard and about 150 pages of Shiver. I almost said Sinner. And then I hope to finish this entire series. Now, the daily challenge of today was to list 3 books that you have read because of BookTube. I don't really have 3 books that I've read because of BookTube. Well, I guess I do. I just don't have them to hold up. So I figured I would kind of play 2 sides of that and give you 3 books that I've read and also 3 books that I've purchased that I wouldn't have necessarily purchased due to BookTube. Now, the 3 books that I have read, and I have them on e-reader, I can't just hold them up. That would be Divergent. I didn't even hear about that except for BookTube. I had read part of The Hunger Games from volunteering in the library at my kid's school, but I didn't even know dystopian was a thing, was a topic, was a genre, until I started watching BookTube, and everyone was talking about this book named Divergent from Veronica Roth, and I was like, okay, I should check it out. And now, of course, I'm in love with it. I've read all 3 of them. The second one would be John Green. I never even knew who he was. I hadn't heard about him. I didn't know anything about him. And so, of course, I've read The Fault in the Stars now. I haven't read any of his other ones, but they are in my to-be-read in 2014 pile. So, there's another one right there. And the third one, what have I read? Oh, 13 Reasons Why. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I would have forgotten that. That's one of my favorite books now, and I had never heard of that. Again, I didn't even know, young adult was a thing. I just knew there were books. So, 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher is now one of my favorite books. I read that one in I think about 3 hours, and I've never done that in my life, and I would have never known about that book if it wasn't for BookTube. So thank you to everyone who did a review on it, and I watched it, and I was able to, find out about this book. It was life-changing. Okay, now, so 3 books that I would have never picked up in a store unless it was for BookTube. And that would be, first of all, Memoirs of a Teenage Amnesiac by Gabrielle Zevin. Now, I have actually not read this book yet. I saw it on Book Outlet for, I think, $1.29. I didn't know anything about it. All I knew was Ariel Bissett had talked about this several times, and I decided to pick it up. And now I've watched reviews on it, and I'm really glad I did. I'm actually really excited to read this. The next book would be Cinder by Marissa Meyer. Again, never heard of this series if it wasn't for BookTube. So excited to get into this. And the last book, of course, is Landline by Rainbow Rowell. Now, this one is kind of like John Green. I'd never heard of Rainbow Rowell except for BookTube, and now I've read all of her books. Oh, no, I need to read Fangirl. Can't believe I haven't read that yet. But I need to read Fangirl. But yes, this one I was able to get for review, and I love it. And I love Rainbow Rowell, and I'm so happy that I was able to find out about her. So if you guys had 3 books that you would have never read besides BookTube, please leave those down below. I would love to hear from them. As always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know any suggestions for future videos in the comments. All my social media links are down in the description, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. All right, bye guys.